We are Fiona, Michael and Ruby. Join us on our travels around the UK and beyond in our old motorhome Moby.
Morning. Cup of tea time, I think. We'll show you where we're parked in a minute. So we've parked up, we're at top of Cheddar, and this one doesn't show up on Park for Night. So we'll show you, we'll drop pin it where it is in a minute now. So it's by Charterhouse and by a lovely walk, which we're going to go for in a minute, along Velvet Bottom.
Yeah, hey. Velvet Bottom. I'm going to show you outside the sheep, if you can see them. Now let's have a look.
So on that side, we've got the lovely view of the sheep and the countryside. And then Fiona will show you the view out the other window once she's opened the curtain.
Open curtains.
That's why we've got the curtain shut.
And there's the road.
So it's and a cyclist. Way.
Way. And there's Ruby sitting on her little sofa there.
Her sofa.
It's her sofa.
It's not her sofa.
So we are going to go out in a minute. We're just going to have this cup of tea and then we'll show you Velvet Bottom.
Yes.
So breakfast of champions. What we got there? Strawberries, raspberries, hang on, blueberries, and we've had a banana. I've had a banana.
You've had yours already.
Yeah.
A cup of tea.
A cup of tea.
And we've just worked out the fridge is working very well because those are a bit chilly.
They are a bit. I've had one. They're quite nice.
Yeah, they were right at the bottom, weren't they? So the fridge is working. So we're on gas at the moment, cooking on gas.
And we've run out of water.
Yeah, we had a disaster last night. We had a pipe burst off, so we lost all our water last night.
So we, but we're going later on today. We are going off to Glastonbury, aren't we?
Yeah, we're staying a night at a campsite in Glastonbury. Now, Glastonbury's difficult to wild camp. It's basically impossible. They've banned it. They're enforcing it.
I mean, I know why they've done that because there's a lot of people that just abuse the system really. And it isn't, it's not pleasant for anybody really. They just leave loads of rubbish behind and. Don't they?
It's more the people that are living that have taken over the place. But we'll drive past where they all are probably and show you where they all are.
Yeah, so that's later on today. And like I say, after we've had this, we'll go and show you Velvet Bottom.
And then we'll go down to Cheddar and show you Cheddar and Somerset.
So while I was in the van last night, I couldn't understand why there were people staring at the back of our van. And then I realised they were looking at our sign.
Do you like our new sign?
Yeah, it's a magnetic one.
It's a magnetic one on the back of the van. Obviously, we had to buy these magnetic stickers, didn't we?
Yeah, sheets of rubber that are magnetic so we can stick it to the back of the van.
Yeah, because the van is
aluminium.
Yeah, he's made out of aluminium, so it wouldn't stick. So we had to buy these stickers. So we'll show you where we are. So you'll see us here, side of the road. You'll see it's a quiet farm track, wasn't it? So we had nothing during the night. No vehicles came past at all, did they?
No, it's very quiet.
Not until about 7 this morning, then the dog walkers started arriving, and now it's gone really quiet again.
It's not very sunny today. It's very cloudy, overcast, but I think it will break through later.
We hope it will anyway.
Yeah.
We'll see.
And this is Velvet Bottom.
Yes. So this is where we are. So we've got the road to Priddy and Charterhouse. And at the bottom down here, Black Rock Reserve leads out to the Cheddar Gorge itself.
Velvet Bottom is actually a nature reserve and there's lots of wildlife here, and as you can see there's a lot of sheep in the background, so there's lots of livestock here. So we have to keep Ruby on the lead while we're going through this.
So it's quite a traditional area. It hasn't changed over the centuries really. It's sheep farming, you'll see the stone walls and quite a rugged landscape. So I don't know how well the camera does it justice, but we're in bluebell season at the moment, or just coming to the end I think more, so it's sort of May time, middle of May.
Yeah, they're really pretty, aren't they?
They are. Get through the wood with all the ferns as well. So this area was very industrious in the past. So the Romans were the first to discover that they could get lead from the ground here, and they've got some lead smelters down the bottom. But the great thing about the path here is they've reused basically what was the slag heap.
Yeah.
So let's see if we can find a bit down here. So you'll see.
Yeah.
You'll see how it's quite shiny black material where it's been molten. So obviously they've heated this up to high temperature, extracted the lead. Extracted
Lead.
a leg from it, the lead from it, and that's what's left is the slag.
But it's really shiny. Look at
It's
that.
really shiny, isn't it?
Amazing.
Yeah.
So we're on our way to Cheddar, and we're on some little road somewhere, aren't we? Don't know where we are.
Don't know where we are, but we're about 3 miles away. So the park up is about 15 minutes from Cheddar Gorge. Now you can park up in the gorge itself, and we'll show you where those park ups are, because we'll probably have to park there. It's where vans and motorhomes and buses can park, and you can park overnight. On a weekend I wouldn't, because there's lots of boy racers that go burning up and down the gorge in their cars.
Yeah, you don't want that.
So you don't want that noise. I mean, generally they finish by midnight, but there's nothing worse than that. So that's where we find the quieter spots. But if you really want to camp overnight during the week, I think it will be a lovely quiet spot. You'll get occasional traffic.
But not that much.
Not that much. So not that much. So we're just coming up to the top of Cheddar Gorge in a minute, and then we'll show you the gorge when we go down the gorge. And I will talk about the geology of it.
Oh no, not the geology.
You
Anyway,
know the geology.
well, yeah, Michael's really into geology, but I'm waiting to see what there is for brunch, because we haven't had any much breakfast this morning. We've only had a bit of fruit. And so is Ruby. I think she's quite desperate to get in
Ruby's
there.
had her breakfast and she wants more. She's always hungry.
There she is.
That is no gauge of how hungry she is. She's always hungry.
But anyway, so we will park up and then find somewhere to eat in Cheddar, and then we'll show you what we're eating. So we're just coming into Cheddar Gorge now, and this is the start of it, isn't it?
This is the start of the gorge. This is it's starting to get a bit more spectacular. So, how was a gorge formed? You may wonder. Surely it needs a river, and there's no water. So how did the water? Oh look, goats, thingies first. So those are the exciting goat thingy majiggies. We'll zoom in onto them. They got all things sheep. They're sheep, aren't they, rather than goats?
Yeah.
Jacobs, I think, possibly.
Yeah.
We'll zoom in on the computer. So back to the question, how did a gorge form without a river? So Cheddar Gorge is limestone, and limestone is porous, which means water soaks through it. So during the Ice Age, the water froze in the gorge, and then obviously there was a river running down there, so it was a big rushing river which cut out this gorge. Short geology, there you go. Let me see if I can zoom in a bit more.
Little goats, baby
There we
goats.
go, look.
I like the one in the middle with his big horns.
So they're quite good at climbing these rocks. Was that the baby one there?
I think there's a baby one up there.
We think there's a
You can
baby
see
one.
it, but
It's halfway up a
hiding.
mountain, so we can't really see it that well.
No, zoom in on it.
Oh, yeah, I think there's a baby one behind the big,
There is a baby one, little
with
white
horns.
black one.
Yeah.
Quite cute.
Oh, it's really cute, that is. So I'll show you, we'll zoom back out and see how far away they are. There we go.
They're quite a long way out.
Zoom out. There we go, that's the view from the van window. And you can see their little speck in the distance. So I don't know if you can see, let me get out so you can see. Little cheddar, little mouse on there as well, that's quite cute. Very cute little chopping boards
I like the cute mouse in there, the little one that's there.
in the bowl.
Yeah.
So we're on the way to cave. So as, remember my geology lesson earlier on? Yeah, you've been paying attention, I hope. So remember we said that it was formed when the... Let's try that again, we just collapsed there. So remember we said it was formed when water was frozen and it all ran through the cave. And I said the limestone is porous. So what happens with the limestone then is the water runs through it, it dissolves the limestone and forms caves. So that's how we get all the caves here. So there is a name for caving. It begins with S and I can't remember it.
S?
Yes, it begins with S. What it is when you're a caver, when you're a potholer. And we used to do it at school. I used to pothole at school.
Just got to turn it around to see this. This is quite cool. There's loads of shops here, little tiny gift shops and rock shops and all that sort of stuff.
Basically, she didn't want to hear the rest of my geology lesson. So the other thing you may remember from when you visit caves is your stalagmites and stalactites.
Yes.
Yes, which ones go up and which ones go down?
Stalactites go down.
Yeah, because you always pull them down.
And stalagmites go up.
Yeah, there you go. So those are formed by the water dripping through the caves and eventually collecting the limestone as they drip through and putting the deposits on there. So they're very pretty. Right, let's carry on up the hill. So this fine gentleman is Richard Goff with his great beard and pipe smoking. He was the one who dug out the caves initially in the late 19th century. It was all dug out by hand. They added an extra chamber or access to an extra chamber later on using dynamite and modern drilling, but this first part was all done by hand. We decided to enter the caves. It's £25 each, and with that includes Jacob's Ladder and Cox's Cave as well. While we were there was an illuminations show as well within the caves, which was of dinosaurs and prehistoric mammals. So enjoy the caves. So here you can see all the calcium deposits from the limestone running down almost like a waterfall where the water was running through during the Ice Age when it was all frozen. There's still water down there in little ponds, and there's our stalagmites and stalactites. And this chamber was just amazing. Look at all those stalactites all dribbling down the wall. So really spectacular in that cave.
Ribby. 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 Hello.
And the nice thing was that obviously dogs were allowed in as well. So we then entered Cox's Cave. Now in Cox's Cave, it's a smaller system, but what they've done is put a light show in which you follow around the cave system. They then give you a description, maybe slightly better than the one I gave, of how the caves have been formed and the geology behind it. But it was great watching all the light shows, etc. in these caves. So well worth coming into.
Then we'll get it in. There it is. Jacob's Ladder.
Wrong way round.
What's the wrong way? Oh, the text wrong way round. Or
Yeah,
you
text wrong way round.
Text wrong way round. Right, I'm going to do Jacob's Ladder because Fiona, or more Ruby, bless her,
Can't make it.
is
So we're
looking
going to
really
the
tired.
doggy bakery.
So they're going to the doggery bakery. They'll video the doggy bakery, and I'm going up Jacob's Ladder. Right, let's show you Jacob's Ladder. I've lost count already, but it's a few stairs. 274 allegedly. Hopefully it's going to be worth this climb, and I'll tell you what's at the top. I've never actually been up here in all the years of living nearby. Luckily at certain points they tell you all about it, which gives me a good excuse for a breather. A little bit further to go.
When you reach the top, there's a further 48 steps to go up the tower to get these fantastic views over Somerset.
So I had to do the extra 48 stairs to come up the tower, and definitely don't come up here if you're scared of heights. It's a very open steel structure. But yeah, an extra 48 steps gets you a good viewpoint then around the whole of the area. Yeah, so 274 steps it was. I'll tell you what, going down is definitely easier than coming up, but well worth the view up here. As I said, Shane Rue was a bit tired, but I'm sure she would have liked to come up, not the tower, but she would have definitely come up here for a little walk. But let's go and rejoin them. I think they've gone to a doggy treat cafe. So I think I've deserved my ice cream.
I've done loads of steps.
She didn't go up the top of the hill there, did she?
Film.
Ruby went there. So what happened in the
So we got to the bakery. You see a little bit of footage of that, but when we got in, an epic fail. Ruby decided to eat everything in the shop. She only ate a whole half a box of chews. I didn't realise. I was looking talking about, and she's helping herself to all these chews. So I was like, oh god. So I said, I'll pay for some of those. He said, oh, don't worry about it. But I felt really guilty, so I paid for some of them.
Oh,
She only got a couple, luckily.
Yeah. Oh dear.
And then I got a couple more for her for later on. But yeah, so she's having her ice cream now anyway.
So, Cheddar Gorge. What do you think of Cheddar Gorge?
I like Cheddar Gorge. The caves are amazing.
The caves were brilliant what they've done in that, especially that light one, wasn't it?
Oh, the light illumination show was brilliant. And the only thing I'd say is I wouldn't want to come here in June, July.
No,
or
we've
August.
come on a Monday in May, so I think that's
Just
made
before the high season.
Yeah, there's a few school kids trips, so not too bad.
I think,
but other than that, I think
it's nice. We
Yeah.
you know, we had something to eat. We've had an ice cream. Ruby
Yeah.
wrecked the bakery, dog bakery.
I'm amazed you didn't get that on camera.
I got a little bit, but the
And then it
camera
just
just
went.
started to go, and I was like, I can't cope with this. I can't control her and do this.
And film.
So anyway, but so yeah, it's a really nice place to visit. But I wouldn't want to come in high season.
No, I think in the high season we've been here before in high season, and we've always escaped up to the Mendips. So once you leave the main Cheddar area, the Mendips are absolutely gorgeous. There's some lovely walks everywhere all
really,
around.
really lovely around
some
here.
interesting history and all the rest of
But
it as well.
A little tip: if you want to come here and enjoy it properly, there's not as much open, but in the winter it's beautiful because you've got virtual to yourself.
So how much was our ticket again? Let me have a look.
I think it was 20 something.
It was 24 quid each, I think. So
and that took you around all the caves, the 3 caves, wasn't it? And there was a museum.
what did we pay? Yeah, 25 quid each basically.
So 50 quid for both of us, plus you know.
So that was, as you say, the 2 caves, not 3 caves. Where did you get a third cave?
Oh, I'm talking about the museum.
And the museum, yeah. So we went for that museum, the 2 caves, and Jacob's Ladder. Which, if you want to do Jacob's Ladder for free, basically you've just got to walk around, quite a long walk around the cliff, and then you can go down for free. They only charge you going up. So you can do Jacob's Ladder for free if you really want to. But yeah, so it's quite a nice little day out in Cheddar. So I hope you enjoy Cheddar.
Yeah.
And we're off to Glastonbury. So we'll see you in Glastonbury. Bye.
Bye.